I met my first wall in Elden Ring called Margit the Fell Omen. Well, I'm going to share how I got to it, what my first fight was like, and how I intend to beat it. Welcome back, Classic Crew, to another Elden Ring journal where I document my whole adventure through Elden Ring as I seek to kill all unique bosses in the game without using summons. Now let's talk about what that means. The summons handicap was there to make my experience with bosses a certain level of difficulty that I was looking for. Now, I have learned that the game uses summons quite liberally in terms of the definition. The horse is a summon, but I mean, the horse is fair game. There are these things that you ring a bell and they summon. Those ones, I think, I just want to play with them, so I'm going to say it's fine to use them on mobs and out on non-bosses. I am making the personal choice of not using those on bosses. And I have also heard that some summons are needed as part of a quest line on certain bosses. Those will be the exceptions to my rule. When I made my pledge, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't calling for unnecessary help for the boss fights. That's ultimately what I was trying to do. So anyways, this past week on my second play session in here, I left the creepy place where I was trying to summon a moose, and I went back to the tree sentinel because I was like, I got a horse, I got a sword, I can finally fight this thing. But on my way there, I saw this massive bear scratching a tree, and I thought it was a cat because it was kind of dark, and I was like, what is that? And as I got close, there's just this bear who's just having a good time with this tree, and I'm just like curious as to if I can do something to this bear. So I try to creep up behind him and I give him a little smack on the butt, and he just mauls me. Now, he didn't have a boss health bar, so I guess I don't have to kill him, and I didn't really stand a chance against him either. So I just said, you know what? I got a tree sentinel to fell, so off we go there. So I teleported there, got on my horse, and I started fighting this thing horse to horse. And this was such a blast of an experience for me because I was very afraid of horse combat being kind of janky in this game, but it's so smooth. Like it felt like I was in a medieval game, like jousting with my sword in his face. And it was fun. Like I was just like dodging his shield, going with my horse, bang, bang. And then he eventually tossed me off my horse. And then things were getting, like I was rolling through the swings. I'm like, I got this. I know how to roll through attacks. I killed the Nameless King. I killed the Orphan of Kos. I got... but then I came back at it, tried again, was a little bit more cautious, then knocked off my horse. And it was just about trading blows slow. You know, you watch for the attack, you let him attack because he does the big wind up, and off you go.
Tree Sentinel.
So the tree sentinel was felled, and that took me up to 4 bosses dead in my journey. But I did level up my dexterity enough to get the flail, so I got my first dexterity weapon. Now I'm on my horse just swinging by people and smacking them in the face with my spiky ball. It's a fun time. At this point, I also realized I had enough keys to go back to the beginning section and put the keys to open up this path. So I don't know what this path is. At first, there's like the music stops. So I was like, okay, this can't be good. There is poison everywhere. So I ran through the poison only to encounter this dude who takes the whole hallway and just, he looks like a guy you don't want to fight. So I snuck around. I found that there's like holes in the walls and I'm just sneaking by. And at one point, I think I got curious. I was like, can I hit this guy's wheel? The answer is no. That's insta death. So I played around that area for a good like 30 minutes, and it's an area that keeps going down or something. I eventually got bored of it because it was kind of tedious. It's a lot of running. It's a lot of dying. And ultimately, the game is not incentivizing me of like, what is down here? Like, they could have sprinkled something to whet my appetite of, is it worthwhile? So I was like, I don't want to do this. there's so many things to explore over there out in the world. Let's go see what's out there. So last time, I think I shared how I wanted to explore around a lake, like the southern part of the map. So I finally made my way there to find out that there is a castle there called Castle Morn. And I got to explore this on the Weeping Peninsula. Oh, the naming, Castle Morn on the Weeping Peninsula. What a sad place. So on my way there, I met a lady, and she's like, "Oh, can you give this letter to my, I think, father figure in her life?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." There are so many maidens in this game. This is going to be a recurring theme. I met so many maidens, and yet I still remain maidenless. But this game is very generous with how many like pretty ladies they sprinkle into the game, and it's very jarring coming from Dark Souls and Bloodborne. It makes me wonder why there's this theme of pretty ladies everywhere. So anyways, I make my way through there. I meet some dogs. Oh, I met my first riddle tower on my way there. So there was like this tower and a blue door. I was like, well, what the heck does this mean? And people were like, oh, it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. You got to figure it out. So I found a book and they're like, oh, you got to find the spirit animals. I was like, what's that? And there was a message that says, go look at a lake. And I could see something splashing. So I hit it only to find out it was a turtle. Oh, I'm sorry, a dog. And I was so sad because it died. I was like, oh no. But then I found out I was supposed to do that. So now I'm looking for the other dogs in the bushes and stuff. I killed them, got the tower, got a memory stone, which I think is like a spell slot, which reminded me that, oh, I want to learn spells one of these days. So I got my memory stone, and off I went to Castle Morn. Things were hard to kill in there, so I was hitting a few of them. I was dodging some others. I eventually found a cool turtle shell, which actually refills your stamina, and this is probably my best moment of rewarding my exploration, because it was up in a tower and there was like a little stone ledge on the edge. I'm like, I bet I could actually jump with my horse on that ledge to get to the top. And I was really curious and sure about that. And when I got up, that's where I got my cool turtle shell. I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is my stamina shield, like in the Dark Souls games. And the bonus part is when you wear it, you look like a Ninja Turtle. Anyways, made my way through the castle. Nothing very significant happened. I got like a claymore, which people got excited about, but I don't use claymores. What's more interesting is I found a whip, and that whip was key to the next part, which was my next boss, the Leonine Misbegotten. This thing woke me up to the dangers of my pledge, because this thing has combos for days, and the fact that it's an early, well, I don't know if it's an early boss or not, but it's an early boss for me, and I'm just like, this is leagues more difficult than everything else I've fought to this point, which is like 4 bosses. But I'm like, it's in your face. I went in with, I tried blocking. He said nope. I went in with, I think, the dexterity weapons. He said nope. I went in with the sword. He said nope. People were saying, go, you gotta level up. You gotta go back and you gotta like level up your weapon. And I was like, no. He must be I'm sorry. I just had to try to sneak that in there. Anyways, I got my whip. I went back to Leonine and I learned that the whip interrupts him. So it was just a matter of whipping him and then managing my stamina. So whip him 4 or 5 times. Every time he whips, he stops his attack. And then you just got to like dodge him for your stamina to recharge and then whip him again. It was the most satisfying, fun fight. Like, it was so different. That's why it was fun. It was different. I didn't have to roll. I didn't have to get on his butt. All I had to do was whip, and then dodge without losing while my stamina recharged, then get back in the whipping. And it was just such a good like dance. It felt good. And I almost messed it up. I was down to 1 last hit and I tried to sneak it in when I had no stamina, which caused him to hit me, and I tried to roll away, and then I kind of like healed myself, and then he hit me 3 times, and I was like, oh my god. And then I was down to maybe 2 HP and I could not get that last hit. And I thought I would have to restart, and I was really dreading restarting that fight, but I got him, and I got some really cool sword that I'm way too under leveled to even consider using. I think I need like 40 strength for it, and I have like 14. So from there I went back and I was about to leave, but I was like, oh, we still have to deal with this letter from the maiden. So I went around the castle, found the commander, almost died before delivering the letter. That was a whole other story. And he's all like, oh, I must protect the castle. I'm like, don't worry, bro. I killed the one that must be gotten. I love that name. So anyways, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go see my daughter or niece or whoever she is in my lineage. And I was like, all right, mission complete. We failed the beast. We saved the dude. We are living our best life. And so back I went to the beginning, and my fair maiden was killed, and I don't know why. So I think some dudes killed her. The guy was too late. He was pretty pissed about it. It didn't end so well. Typical Soulborn ending. So from there, the chat guided me to the Church of Eli. They were really upset that I hadn't gone there before at night. So I went at night. Another fair maiden showed up, the one with the weird eye, and then she gave me a bell, and that's when I learned about the summons. So I used them a little bit. They're okay, but nothing that I really need. And then I went exploring a little bit more of the Weeping Peninsula, and I found another bear in a cave, and that one has a boss bar, and I noped out of that because he bear hugged me. Actually, he bear hugged me to death, and it was very intimidating. Bears scare me, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Which anyways, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just get back to the story main path that this game was like pushing me, which was to go to Castle Storm something. You notice how there's always Storm something in Castle, like Castle Stormwind. I'm sure there's other castles with Storm. On my way there, I eventually encounter Margit the Fell Omen. And this thing this felt Soulsborne. He has that delayed attack where it's like, I'm going to hit you, but you don't know when, and then smack. And I was starting to learn that. I was like, okay, this I can deal with. It's very similar to Nameless King. What I couldn't deal with is when he would do his long stick attack and then he'd pull out his short sword and like whoosh, whoosh. That I couldn't deal with. And the bigger problem is I tried the whip, I tried my flail, I tried the sword. All my weapons were doing very little damage to him. And I was like, okay, even if I managed to learn how to freaking dodge this guy, I'm going to be here for an hour chipping away at his health. So I was getting a little demotivated. I was like, oh, this is a big wall. But I still felt like I can probably learn. I'm still not in the, oh my God, this is so impossible. I've got a whole new mindset from my last playthroughs, my last game playthroughs. But the chat's like, oh, go back to your bonfire and see what happens. So I'm like, all right, what happens? So the lady with the weird eye showed up and she sent me to what I learned is now a hub. So I guess you're supposed to get walled by Margit. And now in the hub, I met another fair maiden, and this one hugged me, which is nice. And she gives out free hugs, as many hugs as you want. So I took 2. I wasn't too greedy about it. And she gave me a blessing or something, which I have to get back and figure out what it is. Here there was the great debate in chat if I should level up my faith or my intelligence and what the different spells are, because I do want to learn spells. It sounds like faith is elements, which is cool because you get fireballs and lightning. But intelligence, you get like that little blue thing and apparently like space spells. And I'm drawn to space spells right now, but I don't know where to go. So I'm a little bit more committed to intelligence, but everybody's like, boo, go faith. So let me know what I should do. There was one last boss of the night. I ended up being like, well, I'm not going to go back to Margit right now. I need to level up. I need to find a better weapon. I got to like level up my stuff. I found a blacksmith so I can level up my weapons. I need better armor. I just need to get, like level up and get good. So I went out and I ended up in a cave and I found a cemetery shade, which was this thing pissed me off because it's always away from your range. It's always like teleporting away from you. And then when you hit it, it teleports away. And then when it's attacking you, it just doesn't stop. It's just like, I'm in your face. And it just eats through all your health. It was pissing me off so much. And I was using the whip to kill it. And it took me a good, like, probably 5-6 tries. And finally, that's how I ended my night. I finally killed the cemetery shade, which took our total boss count down, or up to 6. So now there are 6 bosses dead in my pledge. Still many more to go. And now I have this Margit the Fell Omen to deal with. And I also have some bears to go pay a visit. So I'm not quite sure where I want to go next. There's so many things still to do. I'm just going to wander, I think, for a while and probably wander till I hit level 25 or so. And then I'm going to come back and dance with Margit the Fell Omen and see if we can fell this omen. So hopefully I'll see you when we stream that, when I stream that. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next journal. And until next time, keep it classy. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Subscribe.